All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and this is a review from our tasting at Cafe Max with the owner of Alta Vista, Patrick Dolaine, and what a great time we had this evening. You know, we had a small group, only 17 people, which to me is the perfect size for the back room at Cafe Max, because we only had one table. Everybody got to meet Patrick and talk to him, ask questions, get to know each other intimately, and what a great night it was. You know, the food is always going to be great at Cafe Max, and even though some people had never heard of Alta Vista, they knew, you know, the Wine Watch is involved, the wines are going to be awesome also. And this is one of the iconic wines of Argentina. You know, I asked Patrick, I said, you know, you guys need a $200 bottle of wine. There's no wines in Argentina that are $200 a bottle yet. I said, you know, people always come in, they see your top wine, the Alto, $90. They go, do you have anything better? I want the best wine that they have in Argentina. We have to give them Cobos because that's the only thing we have close to $200. So maybe I've talked Patrick into making the first $500, $1,000 bottle from Argentina. I don't know. Anyways, he's still going to be producing these exceptional values because in Argentina, the acquisition cost of land is not nearly as high as in a place like Champagne or Bordeaux, which is where the family is from. They've been in the wine business for over 250 years. His father still lives in Champagne. They used to own Champagne Piper Heidsieck, and Patrick's ancestors actually sold wine Champagne to Marie Antoinette, the Queen. That was before she was beheaded, of course. And they've got a painting of this transaction still in his father's house. Well, after they sold that, Patrick bought an estate in Saint-Emilion, which is where he met his good friend Jean-Michel, the owner of Chateau Clinet, a man much older than him, but they had a similar passion. They both wanted to create something new, something unique, something outside of France, because the French people are so rigid. The laws are so, you know, you can't do anything new and exciting there without taking a very long time. So they both looked over across the sea. They both loved Malbec, and obviously, you know, Argentina, Mendoza was getting some recognition for its Malbec at that time. There still wasn't much very good wine coming out of Argentina. Most of it was consumed there, but something happened where the people stopped drinking wine, and they had to look for a home for this Malbec outside of Argentina. So that was when you start to see people turn the corner and start making outstanding quality Malbec instead of just producing a quantity of mass wines for other people. Anyways, they started in 1998. That's when, well, I think they bought the property a few years earlier. 1998, I believe, was the first vintage of the wine. Anyways, 1998 was when he got started there, and he bought an old winery after they needed the wine, or actually just bought the vineyard first. They made the wine somewhere else, and after the first vintage, which he only made a few hundred cases, and they decided, you know, they're going to price it at a point that was, you know, much more expensive than everything else in the market. They figured they'd sell everything outside of Australia to the foreign markets, and everything sold out in Argentina in a short period of time. It really blew them away. But this just proved to them that there was a need for higher quality wines from Argentina, not just outside of Argentina, but in Argentina. The people in Argentina that still drank wine were really thirsting for something better. And, you know, I'm not a huge fan of Torrentes, but even their Torrentes is very nice. This is from Salta, and Torrentes is more aromatic varietal, but this one doesn't have quite that much perfume to it. Still has a little bit of that, but some lovely fresh fruit here, and a nice mineral quality, a nice briny quality of this wine, making it very well balanced and refreshing on the finish. Almost has a little bit of a spritz quality to it. Very good juice. All right, Altamana, the new project, and if you told me I'd be more excited about the Malbec from Chile than the Malbec from Argentina tonight, I would say you're absolutely nuts. But, you know, Patrick found this old vineyard in Malbec in the southern Mal Valley in Chile, and 100-year-old vine Malbec. You don't see much Malbec in Chile, but for some reason, you know, they found this incredible old Malbec in 2005, and it took them until 2012. They worked with the vineyard to get everything right before they released their first wine, and this is the second release of this Grand Reserve, 2013. And this wine's got lovely, intense fruit to the nose, blackberries, some black earth, some black pepper spice there, a hint of coffee and violets. Nice complexity here, and very forward and drinkable style on the palate. Lovely fruit, but lovely freshness here and balance also. Excellent little wine, and these wines all very reasonably priced, under $20 a bottle. It's hard to find Bordeaux varietals that are this good at this price range. You certainly can't find them in California. And today in Bordeaux, the Bordeaux Superiors, you're starting to find more options, but Argentina and Chile, by far more wines that are really high quality in this price range. Well, when they were ready to build a winery, Patrick started looking around and he found this old winery. It had some history to it. He didn't want to build a new facility. He wanted to get something that had more of a rustic, time-worn look to it. And this is a 100-year-old winery. They obviously re-outfitted it and stuff. And the owner, when he went to see him, wanted him to spend some time in this park for some reason. Maybe he didn't want him to bulldoze it down and put, soccer field there or something. And he left him there to, just to sit and reflect upon the deal that they had come across. And when he came back, he said, well, how was your time that you had spent here in the park? And he said it was really nice. I heard the children playing and it was really relaxing. And the owner said, there's no children here playing, but I'm glad that you heard them because these are the spirits of the children that were playing here in the past. Ooh, a little creepy, but anyways, kind of an interesting story. I'm not into the ghost world and spiritual occult and things like that, but kind of interesting story. And if you want to visit the winery, we had a couple people at the event that were just in Argentina, actually had shirts on from the winery, made Patrick feel right at home. And number 10 on them, Messi's number, just so happened that it happened that way, right? And these guys were really excited about their trip there. They couldn't say nothing but great things about the winery and, of course, the wines here. All right, on to the wines. We got the premium Cabernet, which we served at the same time as the Grand Reserve Malbec from Alta, which is the Chilean wine. And this is a wine that's got a little more, it's a little fresher style of Cabernet, a little lighter style, not your typical tutti frutti stuff that you get in California, Napa Valley. Not sweet, but more savory, more Bordeaux style. Surprise. And a little lighter, but still had some nice nuance to it, some nice earthy, loamy, earthy notes to it, and some good currant berry fruit, and a really nicely balanced wine. A very good little wine, but for me, I like the Chilean Malbec in this first two flights. It went with a pasta course that Ali did, which was absolutely spectacular. Peaches on top of pasta. Man, Oliver Saucy, I've never had anything like that in the 15 years we've been doing events, and I've worked there since 1990. So incredible the combinations that Chef Saucy continues to come up with. Anyways, the next two wines, we serve the premium Cabernet, the Terroir Selection Malbec 09, and then the 12 Altamana Constanza Single Vineyard, which, we'll try to compare the first two wines, and, you got Cabernet versus Malbec. Then we have two Malbecs here, one from Argentina and one from Chile. And again, if you asked me before the night started which one I would like better, I would probably say the Terroir Selection. It's a 50-year-old selection of 4 different vineyards. It had a lovely perfume to the nose, some black licorice violet, some black raspberry coulis-like fruit, and lovely concentration richness on the palate as well. Even though one of the things that Malbec usually doesn't have by itself is a long finish, and these wines all had a really long finish. Lovely structure. This wine could age for 10 years. The nose on the single vineyard 100-year-old Malbec from Chile was just incredible. I mean, it had incredible intensity, blackberry coulis, fruit, licorice, violets, black earth, and layers of that fruit on the palate. Just you could tell it was darker in color than the first 4 wines. Just had incredible richness, and this wine was, I don't know, my pick for wine of the night. It was outstanding. Well, the Alto also very, very good. That was what was up next. And serve that with filet mignon, of course. What do you put with, Argentine Malbec? Well, Chilean Malbec, there is no such thing for the most part. But, great with the filet mignon Chef Oliver Saucy served. And then the Alto Malbec, which this is their top wine. I believe the first vintage of this was 98. And this wine, 70-30 Malbec Cabernet. My favorite Malbecs have Cabernet in them because Cabernet adds that backbone, that structure to add length to the finish in these wines. And this is one of the first iconic wines from Argentina. This wine's got a little bit of evolution, showing some nice espresso and coffee notes to the black raspberry and blackberry fruit, some licorice spice, and some ripe round tannins here, but still turning a bit dry on the finish. This wine needs a little bit of time, showing some evolution, but still it's got a long way to go. This is most excellent juice. I'd like to try this wine again in a decade from now. And then the single vineyard Malbec, which for me, it was kind of weird going down after this because the Altazine single vineyard was really nice, but much more approachable and much more forward in style, and nice concentration and richness like the Alto. But for me, This was the wine we should have served at the end of the night. But hey, a great night was had by all. Another once-in-a-lifetime evening in the back room at Cafe Max. And check it out. All these wines are available and all at very reasonable prices. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.